Good morning to some of you and good afternoon to others. We're ready to begin. I'd like to welcome you to CASAS National News and Updates webinar. We have a lot of nice presentations prepared for you today. So if you look here, for those of you who aren't familiar with the webinar, there's a few things you might want to notice. Your phones and computers are muted. The presentation questions would be where you would post in the Q&A. If you have technical difficulties, you want to use the chat, and also we'll post some links in the chat where you can get a webinar recording, the PowerPoint, and other presentations. So I want to especially point out to you one of the newest features, which is at the right there, enable closed captions. So if you click on that live transcript tab and then click show subtitles, you will be able to view at the bottom of your screen subtitles for all the speaking that's going on during this webinar. Also, we mentioned the Q&A for asking questions about the presentation, and that you should stick to the chat only if you have technical difficulties. And of course, all the way at the left, you can check your audio settings if you have trouble hearing. This is just a closer look of the Q&A. You can click toggle back and forth between all questions and answers or just your own questions and answers. And this webinar is being recorded, and you will be able to download that from the website sometime early tomorrow. And now I'll hand the meeting over to Linda.
Welcome, everyone. We have a very exciting lineup of presentations for you today. We have a Summer Institute update. We have a presentation about functional role setup in TOPSpro Enterprise from Sweetwater Adult School in California. We have some more tips and tricks about eTests and TOPSpro to share with you. We have a special presentation about CASAS testing accommodations and eTests accessibility features. Then we'll have a test development update. We'll fill you in on our research studies. We're going to tell you about an exciting new EL Civics channel on our website and finish up with CASAS news. So we're going to begin with a poll today. And I'll ask Karen to walk you through the steps for answering a poll in case you're not familiar with them.
So basically, once the poll appears on your screen, you will click on your screen to answer the poll, and then you will submit your answers at the end of that poll. And so then once you've submitted your answers, we will share those answers to the poll, and once we've shared all the answers and reviewed them, then you will want to click the button at the top right to close the poll. So I'm going to launch a poll here about your attendance at CASAS National News and Updates webinars.
So if you could please take a minute. The question is, how often do you attend CASAS National News and Updates webinars? And we'd like you to give one answer. If it's your first time, maybe you've been once or twice, 3 to 6 times, or 7 or more. So please go ahead and answer. Karen, how many have participated so far? I somehow can't see it.
I'm not seeing this either, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe now. Here we go. All right. Now it's coming in.
Oh, very good.
Wow, great. We have some first timers here. Welcome. So glad you found us. Looks like it's pretty spread out among the different frequencies of people coming. All right, well, thanks so much for letting us know. That's really helpful for us. So let's go ahead and close the poll. And if everybody would remember to click the X on the top of the top right of your box, and then you'll be able to see the screen again. All right, I'm going to pass it over now to Jane Iguez, and she's going to tell you about the National Summer Institute.
Very good. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jane Iguez, and we are looking forward to an in-person Summer Institute, and we will belatedly be celebrating our 40th plus anniversary of having Summer Institutes, but we will also have a virtual feature because it was last year when we were virtual, it was very popular, and we have heard from everybody that not everybody can come to San Diego, so we're going to have a hybrid Summer Institute this year. Next slide, please. This will be in the Town and Country. If you're in person, you'll be with us in San Diego's Town and Country Resort, where we've held many other past Summer Institutes. It's been completely renovated, and they've done a very beautiful job. We know that you'll love it if you can join us. And for those that will be joining us in person, we're asking that you show proof of your COVID-19 vaccination. We're working with a third-party group called CrowdPass, and they will be the only ones that will see this information, and they will verify if you meet the requirements, and then you can go ahead and sign up in person. So we will be following whatever the guidelines are in June. Whatever the California guidelines are, that's what we will be following. But we, like everybody else, hopes that this will become, COVID will be passing, but we can only hope. The sessions, first let me say that we'll be using the Wahoo platform like we have in the past. So this has been a great way for both of our in-person and our virtual attendees to be together on this app and to see all the sessions. Then we will also be providing a lot of the trainings in person. We'll have some trainings that are only virtual, and then we will have some sessions that will be hybrid, where both in-person and virtual people will be able to attend. We'll have lots of hands-on technology labs, and that agenda is already posted on our website under the Summer Institute, and we'll be posting our CASAS implementation trainings shortly as well. There'll be a lot of sessions on a lot of accountability, a lot of best practices, making a difference sessions from all over the country. So we really look forward to your joining us during this time. So there is a registration fee and an additional lab fee, and all of that is spelled out on our website. So what I'd like to show now is a short video on how to register. So if you can please play that. So save the date, June 13th through the 16th in San Diego or virtually.
Hello, and thank you for your interest in the 2022 CASAS National Summer Institute. This quick video will show you how to register. To start, visit us at www.casas.org. On the left side, click the blue Summer Institute button. This will direct you to the Summer Institute's homepage. Before registering, you should determine if you will be attending in person or virtually. If you are attending virtually, scroll down and click the blue register button at the bottom of the page. If you are attending in person, please read the in-person registration requirements. All those attending in person will need to show proof of full COVID-19 vaccination before you can register for the conference. CASAS has partnered with CrowdPass to securely upload your vaccination information. CASAS will not have access to your uploaded vaccination cards. To upload your vaccination card, click the link in step 1. You will be taken to the CrowdPass website. Click register and create an account. Fill out the health screening form and upload a picture of your vaccination card. CrowdPass will review your submission. Once approved, CrowdPass will send you a verification email with a QR code. This process is not automatic and may take a day or so. Keep these emails. Once finished, go back to the Summer Institute's homepage and click the blue register button at the bottom. This registration system will only allow you to register for one person at a time. If you are registering on behalf of someone else, please enter only their email and information. All those who plan to attend in person should have a CASAS.org account. Enter the attendee's email and choose a password, then click New Registration. Review the bullets at the top of the page before continuing. Select your registration type. In this example, I've selected in-person registration. You can add any additional guests for our Wednesday evening reception for an additional fee. Additional guests will be required to register with CrowdPass and provide proof of vaccination. Next, enter the attendee's information, including their cell phone number. Attendees will need to use their cell phone number to check in person on site. In-person attendees can pre-register for technical labs for an additional fee. A majority of the Institute, including panels, sessions, and other trainings, including implementation training, accountability, are free and do not require pre-registration. Virtual attendees can choose from virtual or hybrid sessions. To pre-register for a lab, click the button next to the lab name. If you make a mistake, you can always press clear next to the time slot. Review all your lab selections before moving on to the payment page. You can always come back, add labs, switch labs, but you cannot remove a lab once you have fully registered. Each lab has only a select number of seats. You will not be able to select a lab once all seats are full. Your seat in a lab will be saved after you have entered your payment information. After selecting your registration type, entering your attendee information, and selecting any labs, scroll all the way down, read the waiver, and select and accept the conditions of the waiver. Then you'll click Finish and Pay. If you're paying by credit card, you'll enter your credit card information and then click Finalize Order. If you are paying by purchase order, click Pay with Purchase Order, enter your purchase order information, and click Send Invoice. Please note that you must submit an electronic copy of your purchase order. CASAS will send a confirmation email after you have submitted your payment information. Save a copy of your confirmation for your records. You have now completed registering for the 2022 CASAS National Summer Institute. For more information, visit us on the Summer Institute homepage. Here you'll find information about the hotel, any additional contact information, as well as an agenda once fully available. Thank you for watching, and CASAS cannot wait to see you at the 2022 CASAS National Summer Institute.
Thank you very much. And now we'll turn the program over to Janice.
Thank you, Jane. Welcome, everyone. Our next section is Promising Practice. And I'm so delighted today to be joined by Fabiola Epperly, Educational Research Specialist with Sweetwater Adult Education in San Diego. Welcome, Fabi. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Her school is very large. They're very close to the border between at the south of California and Mexico. She's got over 6,000 students, over 120 teachers. My dear, you have a lot on your plate juggling all those teachers.
Okay.
Go ahead. The presentation I have for you today, if you recall last month, Dr. Toibi Rublaitis shared about how her agency uses the TE assessment reports to guide instruction. So this month is the next step in that process, how a data manager sets it up and implements it. Let me just say that this is a snippet that we're going to share with you that was recorded from Summer Institute 2021 that Fabi joined us with the TE Tips and Tricks technology session. It's a good example of some of the excellent presentations you can expect to see at Summer Institute this year by our CASAS certified technical trainers. So this video will explain the steps that a data manager does to set up the reports that an individual teacher can run in TOPSpro Enterprise safely and efficiently. And then afterwards, we'll take a few questions.
Functional role setup. You might ask why? Why and what for? Well, functional roles are used to give different access groups the ability to perform actions in TOPS, such as running reports, taking attendance for students, create entries/updates. Today, for this presentation, we will concentrate on the teacher access group. And the reason why we use functional roles at my agency, we believe that giving our teachers the tools to be familiar with TOPS, what it means to collect the correct data, to be invested in what we do as data managers is very important. And if we give them the rights to be able to do this on their own, they'll be more invested. So what we've done is we've given teachers the role to be able to run reports, take attendance for their students, run anything that they need at the time that they want to, without having to wait for anybody. And this is how it works. T has already, they have preset access groups in TOPS, as you guys are all aware, right? And in order to see what is there, you would go to Organization tab, down to Access Groups. And as you see, these are the presets that TOPS has for us: Admin, Basic, Teacher Access Enhanced. And some of you might see the Administrator and Proctor, Coordinator. There's so many different access groups, right? What we're using today is the Teacher Access Enhanced. And if you wanted to know what this actual access group had as the rights, you could just scroll down on the page and you would be able to see that teachers for this group would have access to look at all these list records, view, they could do updates. However, do you see that on the delete column, nothing is marked? So there's no fear for teachers to go in and delete some of your data. We as data managers, right? We seem to be overprotective of our baby, right? TOPS is our everything, and we don't want anybody to touch it. But there's no harm in this. Teachers are just able to run, see, input without having to delete. So that's one of the things that I want to mention, because sometimes we're afraid to give access to our staff. Okay. So the user, which is a teacher in this instance, of course, after you have imported or manually added all your personnel, right? Some of you might have maybe just a handful of teachers. Some of us might have over 100. So it's depending on what way you would have your personnel, but you have to make sure that they're already in the system for this to work. You go to Organization, Access Group, and then add a teacher to this particular group and save the record. So I will show that here. Same thing, Organization, Access Groups, and you select the access group by double clicking it. At this time, you would be able to see if you've already given access to any of the other teachers, or this might be blank for you now. And this is how you would add the particular teachers you want to give access to. You would click on the drop-down menu. This window pops. If you don't see the name of the teachers here, because we're using the database, it's alphabetical order, so the administration pops up first, but you would go to select from lister. At that time, the list of your teachers or personnel files would show. You would select your teacher, the name of the teacher would appear here. You would say add. The list would generate with the teacher's name, and please don't forget to save. So at that time, that means you've added the teacher to this access group. Then now is the creation of the actual functional role, giving them the access to their particular courses. So same thing, everything under organization, but now this time you scroll down and you go to personnel. Then a submenu opens and you go to functional roles. This new tab opens. You click on new. You select the new personnel or the teacher, the class definition. Make sure that the functional role is for teacher and the school year. And I'm going to show you. So after you've done the new, just kind of like we did for the personnel, same thing. You're going to drop down the menu for the personnel. This will generate a list of all your personnel or teachers. If your teacher's name doesn't appear here, you would go select from lister and select it there. This would generate the teacher name here. Then you want to make sure that the right course or class is selected for this particular teacher. Same thing, you would click on the class definition drop-down menu. Select the course. You always want to see, as I had mentioned, we're concentrating on the teacher access role, but you have the administrator, scorer. So you want to make sure that for this, it's for teacher access. And in my agency, we usually, all of our courses are year long, except for our CT, which are semester. And I tend to like to give our teachers access for the full year. That way I only have to do it once a year. However, if you have 9-week courses or you have quarter courses, you're able to select the time window that you want to give your teachers access to. That's your preference. And after you have done that, again, don't forget to save. And that would be the steps that you would need to do. So now let's say you wanted to confirm with that the teacher has done it or they can see their records. I'm going to show you. So hopefully we're not having any issue here. Okay. So then this is how the teacher would log in. After you have your personal record file for them. If you haven't set up their passcode, you're able to do so by going to the user and just creating, there's an edit button and you can add the passcode that you want. I usually give a generic and then they can change it. And then they would log in. Of course, the start page. And you could see they're all graded out. So the teacher actually has only access to their particular class or their particular students only. They can run their reports. We use a student gains. They can run a learning gains. They can run their attendance. They can also give attendance here only for their class. So, which I think it's pretty amazing. So that's how you would give access to your teacher. And this is what a functional role is.
Love that video. It makes things look so easy. Fabi, did you have a specific a plan for how you were going to roll it out with your teachers? Did you have like a group that you started with first?
Well, the reason why we came about doing this is I know that a lot of our agencies use ASAP, right? I think a lot of us have used it or are using it. So we lost access to that. So it was a way of coming up with a plan for us as a big agency to be able to have our teachers have the access to do their updates and their reporting. So what we did is we just kind of rolled it out to everybody right in the middle of the semester. And it took planning, absolutely, getting master schedules and so on, but it has worked amazingly. It really does.
Like a professional development day, or like, did you make videos for them like you did with this one?
Right. So we have had every quarter, we still have a professional development just to go over. And as time has progressed, we've evolved in our training and the process. But we definitely we had videos and documentation, which, you know, we're happy to provide for anybody that needs to hear. And it's something that it has been ongoing.
As new teachers come on board, they're able to view those materials and get right up to speed.
Absolutely. That's part of their, if you could say, their intake. Part of, right. We call it Update TOPS Professional Development Day.
I'm looking in the Q&A to see if there are any questions. I saw one zip by about which reports or attendance. Is there anything else you'd like to share about which reports tend to be the favorite ones that your teachers grab for first?
We've been really working on competencies now. So that is the one thing that they're able to run, followed by knowing their gains. How are their students doing with their testing pre and post, and for them to have the ability to have it on their own time. That for us is giving our teachers the power to be independent and be able to get the data that they need without having to depend on anybody to help their students.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I believe that we've got a copy of the video already posted, and a couple people are asking some questions in the Q&A, so I'm sure Fabi will dive into that. Would you be willing, I don't know, to put your email address in the chat for people that want to reach out and contact you? It's asking a lot, but we appreciate you. Thank you. And I'll see you at Summer Institute in a couple months.
Yes, you will.
Thank you. All right. Well, moving ahead, the next section we talk about the eTests and TOPSpro update. And I'm happy to present with today on a new feature that we've got. Next slide, please. Technical tip. Back one, please. Oh, there we go. Okay. The technical tip for today is Proctor and test tracking. And this came about because we had agencies that were asking us for a way to join the name and ID of the proctor with the test that they administer. This is very helpful for accountability for your agency and being able to track things automatically in eTests. So this was released January 28th of this year in Build 24 of TOPSpro Enterprise, and it's automatically done. So let's take a look at the next slide, which is a screenshot in records tests. So we call this the tests lister. And you can see that you can add the two columns, which are the new fields. You kind of do a right click where the little red arrow is pointing and say, I want to add the proctor account and the proctor name. And you can see that for all tests administered after January 28th, automatically recorded. But after we did that, we started receiving requests for what about the tests that happened earlier than that? So our developers got busy, and next slide, please. We're working hard on the next feature, which is to be able to select a group of tests prior to January 28th and go into a batch mode. And I would click on the More button in the top right corner and say Set Proctor. And that would take you through a very easy wizard to set up groups of tests and specify the proctor name and the proctor ID. Very easy. And just like another good idea begets the other one, here's the next slide, please. We wanted to expand it. Agencies asked us, could we also do this with paper tests? Or are California agencies doing additional assessments with civic objectives, co-ops? And the answer is yes, we're working on that too. We're going to modify the scanning wizard and modify the third-party import wizard so that your data manager, as they're importing these test records, they can add in that where the little red boxes, it's pretty hard to see, but that's where they would add the name of the proctor and the ID. And it would be saved in TOPSpro Enterprise. Now, speaking of releases, there's one easy way to see what are the release notes in TOPSpro Enterprise, and that's up at the top under Help, Release Notes. And that goes back many years, actually, showing the evolution of our flagship software product. Also includes eTests information in there as well. Now, another place you can find that information is in the TE Start page. Over on the right side, there's an alert that shows you the information for just the current release. So let's go to the next slide. That's just a reminder that Windows 11 is coming. Maybe for some of you, it's already here. CASAS has done all the necessary testing to make sure that it will work. When your agency moves to that environment, our software is already tested for you. And that wraps it up for me for the technical updates this month. Thank you all. Handing it to Linda.
Thank you, Janice. So now we move into another area, and just so happens that February is Low Vision Awareness Month. That is vision impairment, which includes low vision, is very widespread. It affects millions of Americans, and it can make it very difficult to do daily activities, and it's not something that can be fixed with contact lenses, medicines, or surgery. So there are vision rehabilitation services that help people with vision impairment and help them how to stay independent and make the most of the sight that they do have. So we just wanted to honor this Low Vision Awareness Month and ask you to spread the word about vision rehabilitation. There's a website that talks about this. And this is now to lead into a topic that we wanted to share with you this month. And it is on CASAS testing accommodations and eTests accessibility features. And for this, Kara Evans, who is on the CASAS staff as an assessment specialist, has prepared a presentation that will also be posted on the website after the webinar. And we think it's going to be a great way for you to come up to speed if you're not already aware of the testing accommodations, and also a great resource for referring to afterwards if you do have students who need accommodations or extra accessibility features when taking eTests. So let's watch this presentation. And afterwards and during, in a way, you will be able to ask questions in the Q&A, and we'll be posting some links to these resources on our website.
Welcome. This short presentation will cover CASAS testing accommodations and resources available to support those accommodations. Testing accommodations provide test takers who have disabilities with an opportunity to demonstrate their skills and abilities without interference caused by the disability itself. This is a list of common testing accommodations. Extra testing time. Documentation often states double or time and a half. Additional breaks. A reader. A scribe for answers. Large print test booklets and answer sheets, or the use of magnification features in CASAS eTests Online, a talking calculator for math, and the use of a screen reader. A screen reader gives access to assessment content through an audio component. It's external assistive technology that is downloaded onto the testing computer. This technology then assists a test taker who is visually impaired or blind in independently navigating the test. If you have a student who may need a testing accommodation, test administrators will want to contact the Disability Support Services office at your agency or district. They can help test administrators understand local procedures for standardized testing accommodations. Next, test administrators will acquire appropriate documentation that supports the requested accommodation. It's important to note any language in documentation that differentiates instructional accommodations versus standardized testing accommodations. CASAS has resources online to help agency test administrators provide those accommodations. A good place to start is the Testing Accommodations Frequently Asked Questions on the CASAS website. Agency staff can get answers to common questions, such as, how do I provide extended time in eTests? How do I provide breaks? What materials does CASAS have for test takers with visual impairment? How can I order large print test booklets and answer sheets? The testing accommodation webpage looks like this. If you are new to accommodations, there is a step-by-step guide available here and here. This page also includes CASAS guidelines on testing accommodations, as well as other resources such as those FAQs are here. There's also more information on testing with test takers who have a visual impairment, and also other CASAS products that are available for learners and test takers with special needs. That's here. CASAS offers materials for test takers with visual impairment. There are supplemental materials for the reading goals, math goals, and life and work reading test forms. I'll provide a bit more information on those later in the presentation. CASAS also offers large print test booklets and answer sheets. And there's also a Braille reading assessment available. Specialized assessments for groups of learners with certain impairments are also available to order, and these include the Power Series and the Adult Life Skills Series, both of which are designed for adults with intellectual disabilities. More information is available on the CASAS website. CASAS eTests Online offers features that improve accessibility. These include preset default text and toolbar size, preset background color, magnification for all text and displays, volume control on listening tests, and keyboard shortcuts. A testing session in eTests can be modified to allow for extra time according to a test taker's documentation. In CASAS eTests, test administrators can edit a session or even make a separate accommodation session that is available when this extra time is needed. So users will click on the Modalities tab, to edit. Then edit the settings to double time or time and a half. Click OK and save. Only stations assigned to these testing sessions will have the modified timing. For test takers with additional breaks needed, click on the pause icon from the toolbar at the testing station. This automatically pauses the test and test timer, and it masks the screen for test security until the session is resumed. As I mentioned before, all test forms are available in large print. So large print test booklets have a minimum font size of 18 point. Please be sure to indicate large print on your order form. So right next to the regular code, you would just indicate large print. As I mentioned before, supplemental testing materials are available for learners with visual impairment or blindness. So those are available for the reading goals, math goals, and life and work reading. You would order these materials for those test takers who need either a reader and a scribe, or test takers who need to use a screen reader. These materials include a supplement to the test administration manual, including a script for all the test forms. It also includes a copy of the test booklets for the reader and a reusable tactile graphics booklet for the test taker. All test forms are compatible with screen reader software. If students who have a documented disability, such as legal blindness, need to use a screen reader, such as JAWS or NVDA, CASAS eTest forms are compatible, again, for the reading goals, math goals, and life and work reading. The following is a demo of a reading goals level B sample item with a screen reader. CASAS partners with the American Printing House for the Blind to ensure accessibility. This sample shows a personal calendar on someone's smartphone. You can see and hear how the alt text reads with this format. You can also watch how a test taker uses a few quick keys on the keyboard to navigate through the essential components of the testing environment. That is, the test display, the test question, the answer options, and finally advancing to the next test item.
On the cell phone displays Sammy's calendar showing days Monday through Friday with times 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. Monday: 9 a.m. blank, 10 a.m. shop, 11 a.m. blank, 12 p.m. through 3 p.m. work, 4 p.m. blank, 5 p.m. blank, 6 p.m. English class. Tuesday: 9 a.m. blank, 10 a.m. blank, 11 a.m. dentist, 12 p.m. through 3 p.m. work, 4 p.m. blank, 5 p.m. blank, 6 p.m. math class. Wednesday: 1 graphic. Heading level 2. When does Sammy play soccer? Heading level. Monday checkbox not checked. Wednesday checkbox not checked. Thursday checkbox not checked. Friday checkbox not checked. Enter. Friday checkbox checked.
This concludes the presentation. If you have any questions about the information in this presentation or any other questions regarding CASAS testing accommodations, please send them to casas@casas.org. To get to the testing accommodations webpage on the website, you can go here, so casas.org. At the top is training and support, and then testing guidelines, and then assessment accommodations. So there's that webpage. This, of course, is where you can find the FAQs for accommodations. And you can also get to those FAQs by going home. And on the right side here, under What's New, we have FAQs. So these are all the general CASAS FAQs. It also includes those specific testing accommodations and accessibility features FAQs there. So I will put those links in the chat now if you want to have those for later. Thank you so much for attending.
So many thanks to Kara for that really comprehensive presentation. We really hope you all find it helpful. Now we're going to move on to a short test development update. And this is a chart that shows the NRS status of our current test series and the next ones that are coming up. For ABE, we have reading goals for ABE ASE, which is approved through 2025 for NRS reporting. We have math goals approved through 2023, and our new math series for ABE and ASE, where we are in the process of completing the final form studies. And in a minute, we're going to tell you how you can help us with that so that we can submit them for NRS approval. For ESL, the current series are Life and Work Reading, the 80 series, which includes the beginning literacy, forms 27-28. Also approved are the Reading for Language Arts forms 5, 13, and 14. And these are approved through next February 2023, and it's expected they will be extended through June, as Octave almost always has done. Now, Life and Work Listening, 980 series, same story. Our new ESL series, Reading and Listening, we are also in the midst of doing final form studies for these. And again, this is where we definitely need your help. so that we can have approved tests for you to use when we need them, which is very soon. So I'm going to turn it over to now Karen Berger, our National Program Specialist and Field Test Coordinator, and she's going to share with you about our research studies.
Thanks, Linda. Field testing is such a vital part of our test development research. This is really where all the behind the scenes work that is done in our research really comes together when you folks come in and start field testing as a great way to participate in this research. Your participation really helps to ensure that all adult learners are represented in the development of these tests. And one of the benefits to students is that it can help decrease their test anxiety and build their test taking confidence as they take a test that is not going to be considered for a measurable skills gain. For practitioners, it's a great benefit because you get an early look at the new assessments that will be coming out. And your program's contribution to this research helps us continually improve and update valid and reliable tests for use all across the country. So our first study I'll talk about, one more benefit is that the field testers get gift cards. So this is a group of field testers from Palm Beach County, happy to get their gift cards and a little bit of extra spending money before Christmas. One benefit to the agency is that they get complimentary WTUs. So there are a lot of great things in store for you, as well as your contribution with your time and efforts. So first I'll talk about the final form study for ESL. Now these have been chugging right along and we are making progress, but we still need thousands of students. And all ESL students are eligible, as well as ABE students whose first language is not English. We need all levels, but particularly students at NRS levels 1 and 2. This is delivered through eTests and through paper, and you can participate either way. But we also have a special need for more paper testers than that we have already. Students take a locator or an appraisal, and then they take 1 or 2 field tests. They get a gift card of $5 for each test completed. Now, our need has become quite urgent for our math field testing, as we have just been able to launch the final form testing. We only have a few short months and we need thousands of students to participate. So ABE and ASE learners are eligible, also ESL students who have an NRS level 4 in reading. We need students at all levels, so we could put out this new expanded goal series with 5 levels. And again, this will be delivered on eTests and with pencil and paper. Students will take a locator or an appraisal and then 1 or 2 field tests. The big bonus at this point is that we have upped the ante for student gift cards, and we are going to award $20 per field test completed. We'll also give you complimentary web tests that could be used in your regular program. We really want to work with agencies to explore ways for you to do math field testing. This could include CASAS paying for your proctors for their time, and maybe some other incentives for the agency. So depending on what would help you most to participate, we're willing to work with you, and we hope you'll give it a try. Some of the frequently asked questions that come up are about whether these tests can be used for reporting, and the answer is no. They are in development, and we will be submitting them for approval in October. They will not affect your regular program testing, and they will not show up on your reports. Field tests do not consume any WTUs, and if you are using paper tests, we ship them to you, and we provide prepaid return labels as well. As far as accessing the field test, if you're doing it on eTests online, we put a specially configured testing session into your account, and we provide you with detailed test administration directions, so you will know exactly how to administer and how to find these testing sessions. And of course, one of the things everybody wants to know is, how will my students get these gift cards? Typically, we mail them directly to you, and you can distribute them to students. However, we have worked with agencies who had maybe issues with being able to distribute well. And if you provide their email addresses, we can provide e-gift cards and send those directly to students as needed. So if you'd like to get started, if you'd like to find out more, communicate with the folks in your program, see if you can get some info about participation, ask your students what they think, and you can email us at fieldtesting@casas.org, and we'll get back with you just as soon as possible and help you get started. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Karen. Next up, we want to share with you about a new feature on the CASAS website. It's a YouTube channel for EL Civics. And Lynn Robinson, who is a CASAS program specialist, has prepared a presentation to tell you about it.
Hi, I'm Lynn Robinson, a CASAS program specialist, and I would like to introduce you to two new YouTube channels that support providers of EL Civics and citizenship preparation. In the past, CASAS sponsored in-person EL Civics conferences, providing sessions for administrators, facilitators, teachers, and support personnel working with these programs. When we no longer could meet in person, we took the same format as the conferences and placed the sessions onto YouTube support channels. The sessions are now available online for EL Civics for anyone to view at their convenience. Conference strands have become segments on our channel homepage. On the EL Civics support channel, we have 8 sections. 4 of them deal with information specific to California EL Civics. The other 4 could be beneficial to folks that don't live in California. I'd like to take you and show you that channel right now. You are now looking at the EL Civics channel homepage. If you notice, the segments scroll across the screen horizontally. As I said, 4 of the 8 segments I think would be of interest to you. The first would be the Integrated Education and Training segment. The second of interest to you, I believe, would be the Instructional Support Resources segment. The third would be the Agency Implementation examples. And the last of the 4 would be Publisher's Corner. It is very easy to access these channels. EL Civics is the first one to go online, and if you go to the CASAS homepage, www.casas.org, and look under the right-hand column, you see what's new. The 6th item down is the EL Civics support channel. Click on it, and you're there. It may not always be called a What's New item, so in that case you will go to the left-hand side of the home page under the CASAS Peer Community section at the bottom and click on California EL Civics. When you do that, you will see EL Civics support channels. Click on that item and you will be taken right to the channel. The citizenship support channel is not yet online, but will be February 28th, coming very soon. The EL Civics support channel had 8 segments of information. The citizenship has 5, and I believe that 3 of the 5 will be of interest to you. Assessment topics, instructional support resources, and a Publisher's Corner. So I hope these channels bring support for your programs in EL Civics and Citizenship Prep. Visit us online right now for EL Civics and 228 for Citizenship. Thanks for your attention.
So here are a couple slides that repeat some of the information that was in that video about the EL Civics support channel and the upcoming one on citizenship preparation. If you have questions about this, we have Barb Lehman from the CASAS staff available to answer them in the Q&A. So now on to our final segment, CASAS News. We want to tell you we have some live training coming up. You can again always look in that What's New section on the homepage to find out when they are. The next ones, there's a TOPSpro Enterprise Overview on February 24th. There's a live facilitated implementation training of Module 2 on eTests, and that is March 3rd. So to register for these, you just click on the homepage and you can register. Something we've been doing for about 3-4 months now, and it's been very successful, is a National TOPSpro Enterprise Network meeting. The next one is on March 10th, and you'll be able to register for that in the What's New column also. The purpose of these is for folks who are using TOPSpro Enterprise to share tips and tricks and ask questions of folks who are experienced as well as CASAS staff. And they've been really, I think, very informative and productive sessions so far. So please check them out. We want to remind you that we have pulled all the help documentation and videos on all the various topics together on one page called Help Documentation and Videos. Again, if you look under What's New, you can click on there and you'll find how to access those things on the CASAS website, whether they're web pages or videos. We have office hours. We continue to do that, not every Friday, but on these following upcoming Fridays. This is a chance to get any question answered. We have a variety of CASAS staff on hand to respond. So whatever question you come with, we'll do our best to answer it. And again, please register for those sessions so we can get a sense of what you're interested in hearing about beforehand. The next one of our monthly webinars is on March 16th, always on Wednesday, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. So we hope you'll join us for that. We want to also mention that we are closed, not just for President's Day next Monday, but also on this coming Friday, the 18th of February. So please don't expect CASAS staff to be available to you then, but we hope we are at your beck and call any other time that we're open and able to respond quickly and efficiently to your needs. If you have a particular question on one of these topics, this is really the most efficient way to ask these questions because it allows our staff to dive in and whoever is available, answer the questions. We're always checking our desk for these questions coming in. So please use these CASAS.org email addresses, and that's a great way to get your questions answered too. So thank you very much for attending today. We will now formally end the webinar. And if you still have additional questions, you're welcome to stay and our staff will stand by to keep answering. But thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend today. We hope it was useful to all of you. Thank you.